because everything he said is a lie. It's very bad to see an adult lying, to see a general officer of a great army lying. It's very serious. First of all, he talked about the gold of Burkina, which is used to protect us. First of all, it's the gold of Burkina. It's not his gold. That's the first thing. What does it look like? It looks like nothing. It's Burkina. It's the gold of Burkina. It doesn't look like it. The second thing, he's lying, because Burkina never had gold reserves. Until we arrived, it was us who started to reserve the gold in Burkina's treasury. Otherwise, there was not a single gram of gold reserve in Burkina. That means he's still a liar. The other thing, when he says that we use it to protect ourselves, we are free. If the people have decided that we govern, we have the duty to protect ourselves. So we are free. How does it look like? And the thing that hurts me the most, not because he's a general or because he's an American, it's because he's black. And it hurts to see that we use a black man to fight a black man, and it hasn't started yet. It has to stop. It's very dangerous. Even Libya. Who destroyed Libya? To use a black man again. In the movies, in the time of the Americans, black people always played a bad role. We know that it's in the movies, but why do black people continue to play a bad role? I think that if he heard this interview, he must look at himself in the mirror. Be ashamed. Come out and say that we made a false report. I regret it. He must say it publicly. If it's a false report, we did it. Because it's possible. It's possible that we made a false report. That he comes out and says, because you followed when I took another neighbor. Again, as I said, a black man. The Minister of Defense of Ivory Coast, who walks around in Turkey, he sees the Minister of Defense of Turkey, and he says to him, we sell weapons. You see how it hurts. When a black man behaves like that, it hurts a lot. Did we make a false report? That he comes out and lies. If we sent him to create a problem in Burkina, as they are used to doing it, well, we're going to get ready. We're going to wait for them, because it has to stop now. The black race must not be used to fight the blacks. Every time it's the same thing. It's the same thing. And that's what we regret here. It hurt us a lot to see that it's a black man who keeps his word. It's true that they can regret it. Through several channels, they try to catch up. But no, it was said publicly. You have to catch up publicly. That's how it is for us. We are no longer in diplomatic hypocrisy. As we like to say things loud and clear, and come down and say no. We don't apologize. You have to say it publicly. So I invite them to catch up, to say it publicly. Because African youth understood. Black youth in the whole world understood. This manipulation is no longer happening. It has always been the case. We can't use false alibis to hope to reach other goals. It doesn't work anymore. So it's regrettable. But Burkina stays in line. We will continue to develop. He forgot to say everything we do for Burkina. What we do, no regime has done it. The social and economic development of Burkina. We are building a lot of health centers, equipped with equipment, medical exams, and lower the cost of medical exams. Which regime did the same? No one. We are working on agriculture, free labor. Our production has increased. Who did it? No one. The army that we are creating. A new army. The Burkina army has never been as equipped as now. Who did it? No regime. In terms of employment, no regime has created as many jobs as we did. Industrialization. Maybe that's what hurts them, that they want to stop it. We have to make up lies. I invite them to review their copies. That's what I can say. It's a big lie, and it's regrettable.
Africa is no stranger to the machinations of imperialist powers, but when US General Michael Langley, head of AFRICOM, dared to sling baseless accusations at Burkina Faso's revolutionary leader, Captain Ibrahim Traore, he ignited a fire that has swept across the continent like a harmattan wind. In early April, during a US Senate committee hearing, Langley claimed Traore was misusing Burkina Faso's gold reserves for personal gain, a slanderous lie that sought to tarnish the image of a man who has become the beating heart of Africa's anti-imperialist resurgence. What the West did not anticipate was the thunderous response from Africans, not just in Burkina Faso, but from Accra to Addis Ababa, from Lagos to London's diaspora strongholds. The people rose, their voices united in a resounding cry, "Hands off Traore! Hands off Africa!" This is no mere protest movement. It is a continental awakening, a rejection of centuries of exploitation and a bold declaration that Africa will no longer tolerate foreign meddling in its affairs. From the bustling streets of Ouagadougou to the vibrant markets of Nairobi, Africans have taken to the streets, their placards aloft, their chants reverberating. Traore is Africa's hope. The West, blindsided by this unity, scrambles to make sense of a continent that refuses to bow. African leaders, long accustomed to navigating the tightrope of Western approval, watch in stunned silence as their people rally behind a 37-year-old captain who embodies the spirit of Thomas Sankara and the dreams of a free Africa. This is the story of a people's rebellion, a love letter to a leader who dares to defy, and a warning to those who underestimate the power of a united Africa. On April 3, 2025, General Michael Langley sat before the US Senate and uttered words that would prove to be a grave miscalculation. He accused Captain Ibrahim Traore, Burkina Faso's interim president, of diverting the nation's gold reserves to protect the junta regime rather than for the welfare of his people. The accusation was not just false, it was a deliberate attempt to undermine a leader who has dared to challenge the West's stranglehold on Africa. Langley's words, dripping with the arrogance of empire, echoed the tired playbook of imperialist propaganda: smear, destabilize and depose. But Africa was listening, and Africa was ready to respond. Within hours, social media platforms across the continent erupted. From X to TikTok, hashtags like #HandsOffTraore and #AfricaStandsWithIB trended as young Africans, armed with smartphones and righteous anger, called out the US for its hypocrisy. The same America that plundered Iraq and Libya now dares to lecture us about our resources, tweeted on Tita, a Kenyan activist whose post garnered thousands of retweets. In Burkina Faso, the government swiftly condemned Langley's remarks as regrettable and gravely inaccurate. But it was the people who took the fight to the streets. On April 30th, Ouagadougou's Place de la Révolution became a sea of green, red and black, the colours of Burkina Faso's flag, as tens of thousands gathered in one of the largest pro-junta rallies since Traoré seized power in September 2022. Demonstrators waved giant posters of their leader, clad in his signature fatigues, and hoisted banners declaring, "Down with imperialism and its local lackeys." Musician Oshibi Yohan, a protester at the rally, told the Associated Press, "Because Colin Powell lied, Iraq was destroyed, Barack Obama lied, Gaddafi was killed, but this time, their lies won't affect us." His words captured the sentiment of a generation that has witnessed the devastation wrought by Western interventions and refuses to let Burkina Faso become another Libya. But this was not just Burkina Faso's fight. The protests spread like wildfire, igniting solidarity movements across Africa and its diaspora. In Ghana, the socialist movement organised demonstrations under the banner "Hands Off the AES", a nod to the alliance of Sahel states, comprising Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger. In Liberia, Sekou Ansumariam Dukali, a young activist, travelled to Ouagadougou to join the protests, declaring, "I came to participate in this demonstration because Captain Traoré represents hope for Africa, hope for black people, hope for all freedom fighters around the globe." In Nigeria, 2 protesters were charged with inciting public disturbance for organising a pro-Traoré procession, yet their resolve remained unshaken. From Accra to Montego Bay, from London to Bamako, Africans stood up, their voices a chorus of defiance. To understand why Africans have rallied so fiercely behind Captain Ibrahim Traoré, one must look beyond the headlines and into the heart of a continent yearning for sovereignty. At 37, Traoré is not just a military leader. He is a symbol of resistance, a living embodiment of the Pan-Africanist ideals championed by Kwame Nkrumah, Patrice Lumumba and Thomas Sankara. His rise to power in 2022, following a coup against Lieutenant Colonel Paul-Henri Damiba, was rooted in a promise to address Burkina Faso's worsening security crisis and reclaim the nation's dignity from neo-colonial exploitation. Unlike his predecessors, Traore has delivered. Under his leadership, Burkina Faso has taken bold steps to assert its independence. He expelled French military forces, terminated exploitative agreements, and rejected the CFA franc, a currency seen by many as a lingering shackle of French colonialism. Traore redirected national wealth toward grassroots development, investing in education, healthcare, and food security despite illegal sanctions and external pressure. His nationalisation of Burkina Faso's gold mines, a move that has earned him both plaudits and enemies, ensures that the country's resources benefit its people, not foreign corporations.